Hi guys, today I'm going to show you how to make a Darth Vader Star Wars cake using a Wilton shaped cake pan. So it has very detailed instructions on the back and it tells you to grease it with some Crisco. So I just put some on my little paper towel and completely coated the whole pan. You want to make sure that you can't see any really shiny spots. And then you're going to sprinkle in a little bit of flour and you tap it and shake it around the pan until that is completely coated as well. I typically do this over the sink and I just tap out the excess flour. And this is what it should look like. Then I just use a standard box cake mix and put it in the pan, and I tapped it a few times to get some air bubbles out. And I recommend putting it on a pan like that. That way you can easily remove it from the oven. Then while it's still hot, you lay a long knife along the edges and you want to just go around the pan and slice off the top that kind of rises. This will help so when you flip it over, your cake will lay flat. And again, there are incredibly detailed instructions that come with these cake pans. It even has the recipes for like the icing and stuff like that, so don't be intimidated. Then I took a butter knife and traced it around the pan to make sure nothing was sticking. Then I took a wire cooling rack and laid it on top, and I'm going to flip it over. And if it's done properly, if you've greased it really well, it's going to come right out. It should not stick at all. If it sticks, it means you didn't have it all covered. So I'm just going to gently, since it's still hot, lift it up, and there it is. So for the buttercream recipe, I used the one that came with the instructions. It's a basic buttercream. We have some vegetable shortening and butter that we cream together. Then we're going to add in some vanilla extract. And once that's really well combined, you can start adding in your powdered sugar, 1 cup at a time for a total of 4 cups of sugar. And I always scrape the sides and mix really well in between each cups of powdered sugar I add. And once you have all your sugar mixed in, it will be pretty dry, so then you can add in a couple tablespoons of milk. My assistant is going to do the honors since it's his birthday cake. So that is a standard buttercream recipe. Now this one says you should make it chocolate, so we're going to go ahead and do that by adding some cocoa powder to the mixture. That's going to dry it out some more, so we're going to add some more milk here in a second once we get that well combined. And you're going to mix it for several minutes. And then you're going to add a little bit of black food coloring to it to make Darth Vader's color. I didn't realize my assistant was in the frame. He's eating a cupcake and wearing his Star Wars pajamas. So once our icing is ready, we are ready to decorate. So the cake has completely cooled, and we're going to just kind of outline the smaller lines that it shows here. So his eyes, his eyebrows, his mask, and it tells you what tips to use. I didn't use those tips, I just used the ones I wanted to use. So for his eyes, there's 2 different ways you can do this. You're going to make it like a flat, matte look. You can either take cornstarch, as it says on the back, and dip your finger in it and kind of pat it down, or you can take a little wet brush like this and smooth it down. This was actually pretty fun. Never done this before to a cake. The cornstarch honestly probably would have worked better, but I didn't have any. So next, once I get done with that, I'm going to work on some more of the outline. And I always recommend having a toothpick handy. You can, if you make a mistake, you just take a toothpick, it lifts right up. If you need to straighten a line, it will be great for that. These cakes are really forgiving when you're decorating them, so please don't be intimidated by it. This is the second one I've done, and I thought they were terrifying, but they both turned out pretty good. So here's the next little progress mark. Then I had to do the inside of his helmet the same way with the paintbrush and kind of paint it to make it look flat. hard to make dimensions when you're using a all black cake. So once I got that done, here I am just straightening some more lines with my toothpick. It's like I forgot how to pipe when I was making this cake. It was ridiculous. Then you're supposed to switch to a star tip and then cover everything else in the star tip. I could have sworn I had a star tip. I didn't. I had one that looked similar to it, so I'm using that, but then because I didn't have the right one, as you can see, my detail lines are gone. So I just went back and piped over them to accentuate that, make it stand out more. And I feel like that really helped. It made a world of difference. And I think all in all, the cake turned out pretty decent. So here is what the cake looked like once it was done. And I also made some Stormtrooper and Darth Vader little candies to put on the cupcakes. And I'll probably make a quick video on that if you are interested, and I'll link it below once I have it ready. Thanks so much for watching. Bye guys.